Why is it that our society does not recognize people who have labored, who have shed their sweat, who have done everything humanly possible to define our humanity, especially through their art, either as broadcasters, as actors, as film editors, as film directors? A lot of people have tilled that field, and yet our society has refused to recognize it, to pay due honor. So we've been asking these questions of ourselves year in, year out, ages, rolling into ages. And then we said, why don't we also do something? And that is why we are here. You're welcome to the second in the series of Ibadan Film Circle Legacy Series. The first one held last year, where we had the distinguished presence of Chief Adegboyega Arulogun, ex-broadcaster, film editor, and cultural icon. This second edition, dedicated to the person of Chief Moses Adejuwon Olaya, aka BABA SALA, Oko Wosi Wonkoko. Please give him a round of applause. As I say, I'm going to hand over the microphone to Dr. Adetuji Aziz, who is going to anchor for now, until I come to snatch the microphone away from him later. Dr. Adetuji Aziz, all the way from Lagos State University, is a theatre scholar himself and has done some work on BABA SALA. Adetuji Aziz, please, would you please kindly step forward and take the microphone away from me? And let me find my level.
Well, eka so ẹ̀yin ìyá wa, ẹ̀yin bàbá wa, ẹ̀yin àbúrò wa, ẹ̀yin ẹ̀gbọ́n wa, ẹ̀yin olùkọ́ wa, ẹ̀yin akẹ́kọ̀ọ́. Ẹ káàbọ̀ sí orí ètò yìí. Èyí tá bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní ọdún tó kọjá. Tá fi yẹ bàbá wa Arúlógún sí. Ṣùgbọ́n nítorí pé gbogbo àtàwọn bí ìkọ́lẹ̀ ọmọ Yorùbá. Ẹ gbà mí láyè kí n sọ èdè Gẹ̀ẹ́sì. Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is a very big task that I have. It's so big that I can't even find words to explain how big it is. Most of us here grew up being humored, learning from one icon. And that today we are sitting down here to see the man physically, to interact with him, to share the dream that he had, where he was able to take the dream to, and where we can take up that dream and move forward. It's a great honor. I think there's a need for us to commend the effort of my brother and friend, Nigerian, who moved into Ibadan and felt that there is a need for scholars of theater and particularly of film to come together to begin to discuss how we can move the Nigerian film industry forward, how we can tell our stories, how we can capture our realities using the celluloid. Today, that little group on WhatsApp, Ibadan Film Circle, has become a reference point in the documentation and understanding of theater history, theater practice, film history, film practice in Nigeria. So what we are doing today is that all of us are part of another history of our country. Our father, Baba Ekabo, pẹ́ fún wa, àwọn kan tẹ́ ṣe sílẹ̀, ẹ ti nípa, Ọlọ́run á túbọ̀ fún yín ní àlàáfíà láti máa wà lórí ilẹ̀ ìpẹ́ yìí. pẹ̀lú àlàáfíà. Let me just say something that I discovered before we move on to this whole thing properly. Some years ago, I was called upon to do a paper on Nigerian theater. And I discovered something very strange. Today we have men who are hairdressers. Today we have men who are sewing women dresses, who are into female vocations, or so to speak. Decades ago, this man sitting down here, in one of his record albums then, you remember? He was asked by his wife, Wosi, that go and learn the work. And it's okay, a trade. And said, what do you want to learn? He said, Move Koshe Onidiri, hairdresser. It was funny then. But today, what this man joked about is a reality of our existence today. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a round of applause to this icon of our time, Chief Moses Adejumo Olaiya, aka Baba Sala. Well, Rocco is on here. I recognize everybody here without calling names because we're already starting behind time. As we move ahead, we'll be introducing people. But I want to thank the Department of Theatre Arts, University of Ibadan, for giving us this opportunity to be here. The HOD, Dr. Awusami, will say a big thank you to you. The Multimedia Center, Ibadan, you are welcome. Thank you so much. Now let us move to the first thing that we'll be doing here. I want to call on the man whose brain began all of this to give us what we regard as our opening address into this second edition of the Legacy Series of the IFC. Ladies and gentlemen, help me in welcoming Mr. Niji Akoni, one-time best director in Africa. Yes, at the time. This man won just one movie, became the best director in Africa. Very unassuming. I hand over the mic to him.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to today's program. They asked me to make a long speech, which I won't. I think between Rocco and Dr. Tunji Aziz, I think they've actually mentioned, they've covered just about everything that needs to be said about this event. The Ibadan Film Circle Legacy Series is everything that they have said and much more than that. It is much more because we have a vision that goes beyond what we are saying today. This is supposed to be a celebration. By God's grace, what we are planning to do is not ever having to celebrate anybody posthumously. We're trying to celebrate them while they are alive. And we're very happy to have Baba right here within us today, in our midst today. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a big pleasure and a dream come true to have Baba Sala to my right, 2 feet or 3 feet away, and I'm speaking to him. It's a personal pleasure. Thank you very much, everybody, for making this happen. If we begin to say, this is somebody who made it happen, this is somebody who contributed to it, we will not spend nothing less than 2 hours here. Gentlemen and ladies, I'm very glad to be here. I'm happy that this did not come from my brain, like they said. It came from everybody's brain. We had an idea, we all began to push it, and this is the second result of that dream or vision. Okay, my name is Niji Akoni. Sometimes I'm a script director, sometimes I'm a writer, sometimes I'm a campaigner, sometimes I'm just a visionary. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I give the microphone back to Dr. Tunji.
Maybe I should say something. I don't know, for the older people here, I beg, I apply as a messenger in your office, sir. I apply, I beg, I wish, ebo you want labor you, I beg, I apply, and then one way lady, Niji has spoken. My father has a motor car. How many people remember that? And then say, oya, kí ni túmọ̀ ẹ̀? Mo ní bàbá mi ní ọkọ̀ ayọ́kẹ́lẹ́ kan. Bàbá rẹ ní mọ́tò ayọ́kẹ́lẹ́. Bàbá ẹ jẹ́ gbàjọ́ gbẹ̀kẹ́ lóko ní. You know, we had such a great time listening to this enigma, the man here. Ẹ̀yin èèyàn wa, wọ́n ti fún mi ní àṣẹ. Àwọn tó gbà mí síṣẹ́, wọ́n ní èdè abínibí ní kí n sọ láti sìn lọ tí di òpin ètò yìí. Ṣàfaramọ́ àbá faramọ́? Ẹ sọ̀rọ̀ sókè o, ṣàfaramọ́ àbá faramọ́? Ẹ̀yin ọ̀dọ́, ṣé gbọ́ ohun tí mo sọ? Ṣé faramọ́ àbẹ́ faramọ́? Àwa máa wò bóyá ẹni tó wà wájú yìí gan bóyá ló lè sọ Yorùbá òun. Wọ́n ṣe ní kó máa sọ, ṣùgbọ́n a gbìyànjú. Ká tó máa tẹ̀síwájú, mo fẹ́ pe ẹni tó jẹ́ bí ẹni tó kó wa jọ níbí eléyìí, olùdarí ẹ̀ka iléèwé yìí, ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n Túndé Awósanmí, láti fún wa ní ọ̀rọ̀ ìṣítí díẹ̀ ká tó máa tẹ̀síwájú. Ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n Túndé Awósanmí, ọ̀rẹ́ mi fún bí afẹ́ tó bí 30 ọdún sí láti ń bàbọ̀ láti fẹ̀. Túndé Awósanmí, ó dọwọ́ ìdáyà.
Ẹ kúrọ̀lẹ́ o gbogbo èèyàn. Ẹ jìn dọ̀bálẹ̀ yẹn lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí. Ẹbí ò ní dọ̀bálẹ̀ fún ìgbádùn. Inú mi dùn láti wà níbí lẹ́nu, and inú mi dùn lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ wípé ohun tá à ń ṣe níbí lẹ́nu ó ṣojú gbogbo wa. Dáadáa ni a máa rí o. Báyìí báyìí la máa rí o. Ẹ ṣàmì. Ní rí báyìí bá. A kí yín káàbọ̀ síbí lẹ́nu sá. Ẹ ṣe àdúpẹ́ tí ẹ jẹ́ wa sá. A sì dúpẹ́ pé àwọn èèyàn mi, àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ mi tí wọ́n ṣe ètò nǹkan tá à ń ṣe níbí lẹ́nu. A dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run tó fi sí wọn lọ́kàn, nítorí nǹkan tó yẹ kó ti wá láti ọjọ́ tó ti pẹ́ ni, ṣùgbọ́n ó bá ní kò tí ìbàjẹ́ gẹ́gẹ́ bí àwọn bàbá wa ṣe máa ń sọ. Kò sí nǹkan púpọ̀ tí mo fẹ́ sọ, ṣùgbọ́n nǹkan tí ò bá wù mí láti sọ nípa bàbá wa, àwọn tún jẹ́ àsìsì sọ pé ká máa sọ Yorùbá, but eléyìí ó dàbí pé kò ní lè sọ lè ní Yorùbá o. Ní ọdún 2013, in fact 2011, níbi ọdún 4 sẹ́yìn, ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n Wọlé Ṣóyínká ó kọ ìwé kan, ó kọ ìwé eré orí ìtàgé kan, ó pè ní Alápatà. Nígbà tí wọ́n kọ ìwé yìí, mo mọ̀ pé wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí kọ ìwé yìí ní ọdún 2006, and the model náà yìí pé nígbà tí wọ́n fi máa kọ ìwé yìí dé bí ìdá 4, mo ní kí ni wọ́n ń pè privilege, mo ní àǹfààní láti mọ̀ wípé ẹni tí ó jẹ́ lead character nínú play, tó jẹ́ ẹ̀dá tí ó ṣe pàtàkì jù, tó jẹ́ òṣèré tó ṣe pàtàkì jù ní inú play yìí, principal character yet. Nígbà yẹn wọ́n sọ wọ́n ní pé ẹ̀yin ni wọ́n ní ọkàn tí wọ́n fi ń kọ ìwé yẹn. Wọ́n pe ẹni ẹni Àlàbá Alápàtà. This was in 2006, and then nígbà tó di 2011 wọ́n publish ìwé yẹn. Ìwé náà ló wà lọ́wọ́ mi bí. Nǹkan méjì ni mo fẹ́ fàyọ nínú nǹkan tí mo ń sọ yẹn. Èkíní, ìgbà tí ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n Wọlé Ṣóyínká ìgbà tí wọ́n publish ìwé in 2011, ẹni tí wọ́n dedicate ẹ̀ sí ni Moses Ọláìyá, the inimitable Aláwàdà. This is the play I had in my hand. So she dedicated this play to Moses Ọláìyá, the inimitable Aláwàdà. And mo sì ní àǹfààní láti mọ̀ nítorí wọ́n máa ń send mi ní kí ìwé ètò parí, wọ́n máa ránṣẹ́ sí mi kí n kà á, màá tún dá padà, màá mi comment and go. So mo mọ̀ pé wọ́n sọ nígbà yẹn pé ìbáwù wọn púpọ̀ tó bá jẹ́ ní pé ní ìgbà tí wọ́n bá máa gbé ìwé sí orí ìtàgé, gbé eré sórí ìtàgé fún ìgbà àkọ́kọ́, ipe kó jẹ́ pé ẹ̀yin ni ó máa play character yẹn tó wà ní play. And he's still looking forward to that, as a matter of fact. And that's the first aspect of what I will say. Then the second one is here in the play, wọ́n ní apá kan ìwé yìí tí wọ́n ṣe àkórí ẹ̀ ní letter to the director. Nínú apá kan yìí, ní ibi tí wọ́n pè ní letter to the director yìí, wọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ nípa àwọn bàbá Sàlá níbẹ̀, wọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ nípa àpá Moses Ọláìyá níbẹ̀. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ máa gbà mí láyè láti ka, it's just a paragraph about him. And ibi tí mo fẹ́ kà yìí, ó ṣe àlàyé púpọ̀ nípa irú bí ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n Wọlé Ṣóyínká bí ó ṣe rí wọn sí, irú regard tí wọ́n ní fún àwọn bàbá wa tí a gbé wá síbí lénìí. The regard that he has for him as an actor and as a consummate theatre practitioner. Please, you permit me to read this out. Easily one of the greatest comic geniuses that the Nigerian stage has ever produced is Moses Ọláìyá. And I would like to go through that again. And I have not gotten any reaction from you. Maybe you are not listening properly. This is a testimony from Wọlé Ṣóyínká about the artistry of BABA SALA, of Moses Ọláìyá Adéjùmọ̀, alias BABA SALA. It's easily one of the greatest comic geniuses that the Nigerian stage has ever produced is Moses Ọláìyá. Another hand. And I do not think that's a lie. More popularly known as Aláwàdà, a performer par excellence, like that other genius of the comic muse, Kọ́lá Ògúnmọ́lá. Moses Ọláìyá's meter was broad, socially disruptive, Falstaffian. White collars was the economic, understated gesture and delivery. I hope the director, if Nigerian, will recognize a typical Moses Ọláìyá scene in the play. And that is to say that the writing of the play, the conceptualization of the play, was also informed by one of the various plays, drama pieces, which BABA SALA had done in the past. Please, another round of applause. And here is saying something from Wọlé Ṣóyínká's own wish himself. He said, Ọláìyá lacked scripts, however. I always dreamt of providing him with sketches to stretch his technique to the limit, especially after his film was pirated before its release. He came to see me at the then University of Ife, a broken man. He had put all his savings into that film and even borrowed more. The pirates were tracked down to his very recording studio, and he took them to court. Alaba in this play, that is the lead character in this play. Alaba in this play was the kind of character I dreamt of for Alawada, from whom therefore inspiration for this play came. Another round of applause. And so we have here this evening, in blood and flesh, the man who was an inspiration, who was the major inspiration for a major play. And I can tell you on authority that this is the most recent play by Wole Soyinka in print. And this man sitting here is the inspiration for the writing of this play. So I would like to seize this opportunity. Though he did not send me, but I think that there are some errors I can carry out on his behalf. So I would like to seize this opportunity to present a copy of this same play to Baba Sala here. You know, as I sat... I'm not a former... I hate photographs. Now, as I sat there, I was looking at him on stage, and I said to myself, certainly this is one of the most handsome men that I have ever seen. Are the ladies in the house, is that a lie? Yeah. He's one of the most handsome men, even at this age. If Baba Sala is still looking like this, so handsome, look at his skin. He belongs to the breed of men of whom it is spoken in that in folk poetry. Wọ́n ní ẹni obìnrin kò lọ́nà tó bú ẹkún. Ó ní bẹ́ẹ̀ yóò bá ṣọkọ ẹni, ó ṣáà ti jálè ẹni. Ẹ ṣé mo dúpẹ́.
Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ kí ló ń pè regard. And lead character. Ó yẹ ká dá ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n Túndé Awósànmí ká dá ọ̀dọ̀bálẹ̀ ká fún ọ ní ẹgbà bí mélòó kan ní. Ilé ọmọ Ìjẹ̀ṣà ní Túndé. Ó tún wá rí ó rá àwọn bàbá ẹ̀, ó tún sọ òyìnbó. Tàbí ẹ̀ kó máa sọ Ìjẹ̀ṣà. Ṣùgbọ́n tí èèyàn bá ti fẹ́ àwọn ẹlẹ́yà míì tí wọ́n ní fún ọ ní àkójẹ, tí wọ́n ti ń jẹ kẹ́kẹ́ fi ẹ̀ẹ́dà nílé dáwọn lẹ́bi púpọ̀. Nǹkan tí ọ̀rẹ́ mi tó ṣe fún nìyẹn. Ó fún lóúnjẹ wọn jẹ, ó kàn yí àwọn ẹ̀ báyìí ni, kò bá lè sọ Yorùbá mọ́. Bàbá, ẹ ṣeun gan sà. A máa rí yín bá. Wọ́n ti ní àwọn fẹ́ pé kẹwàá tún ṣe eré tí ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n Wole Soyinka tó wọ́n kọ. Mo mọ̀ pé bí wọ́n ṣe kọ́ tó wá dìgbà yẹn, á rọrùn fún yín láti lè ṣe eré náà. Ibi tó lọ́wọ́ ń gbé yín sí, ẹ lè kó ń bẹ̀ mọ́. Iwájú tẹ wà lọ́lẹ̀ máa bá yín. Ẹ pẹ́ fún wa sà. Ní báyìí, wọ́n ti ní Yorùbá ní ká máa sọ. Ṣùgbọ́n mo rórúkọ kan bí yìí, ẹni tó yẹ kó ṣe àfihàn gbogbo àwọn táwa ń bí yìí, àwọn jàǹkànjàǹkàn èèyàn tó wà ń bí yìí, àtàwọn jàǹdùkú èèyàn tó wà ń bí yìí. Nítorí gbogbo ẹ̀kọ́ ní jàǹkànjàǹkàn. Mo tẹ̀lé nìkan wá láti Èkó. Jàǹdùkú èèyàn ni. Òun ló sì wà mọ́tò débí yìí. Jàǹdùkú ló sì wà, a sì débí yìí. So, ní báyìí máa pe mo lórúkọ ń bí yìí wọ́n ní ẹni tó ṣe àfihàn náà ni ọ̀gbẹ́ni Laniyi Stevens ṣe yòókọ Yorùbá o tabaniko máa sọ èbò Yorùbá tí ò bá ní sọ ń kọ́ ṣé ká sì pè wọ́n kí wọ́n wá ṣàfihàn àwọn èèyàn àbí ká má pè wọ́n ẹ̀yin èèyàn kí lẹ wí o ká yẹ̀ wò ọ̀dà náà ní báyìí mo fẹ́ pe ọ̀gbẹ́ni Lani Stevens láti ṣe àfihàn àwọn jàǹkànjàǹkàn èèyàn á fi àwọn jàǹdùkú sílẹ̀ tó bá yá a máa ṣàfihàn tiwọn ní àyè tiwọn ọ̀gbẹ́ni Lani Stevens ẹ̀yìn là ń dúró dì báyìí. Lani méjì ló ń bọ̀ yìí o Lani yàtọ̀ ló ń bọ̀ yìí o tọ́ sẹ́yìn ni adélé ọ̀gbẹ́ni Lani Stevens ni kájà máa ṣe dáadáa ọ̀gá náà ó yá.
Ẹ kú jókòó lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí o mo tọrọ gáfárà ní orúkọ ọ̀gbẹ́ni Lani Stevens. Tábà ní àwọn tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ takuntakun nípa pé nǹkan tí a ṣe lónìí kó lè bọ́ sí ọ̀gbẹ́ni Lani Stevens jẹ́ kan nù nǹkan tí ò jẹ́ kó dúró báyìí bẹ́ẹ̀ ni nǹkan tí ò jẹ́ ká rí báyìí ni pé ó ṣe ìṣe àwọn iṣẹ́ ẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ báyìí níbi kan gbogbo ẹ̀ kó lè tó ṣẹ́ náà. Nǹkan tí wọ́n ní kó ṣe èmi á gbìyànjú láti ṣe nítorí pé òun ló ti gbìyànjú ẹ̀ ló ti múra ẹ̀ sílẹ̀ gbogbo ọ̀ṣẹ́ tí mo bá ṣe adágún àforíjì mi. Àwọn èèyàn jàǹkànjàǹkàn wà ń bí bẹ́ẹ̀ làwọn jàǹdùkú náà wà ń bí bá ti sọ bóyá ká kọ́kọ́ dárúkọ àwọn jàǹdùkú àbí ká má dárúkọ jàǹdùkú rọ́bà nǹkan lè lọ́dà á dárúkọ jàǹdùkú lẹ́yìn tó bá yá. Àwọn jàǹkànjàǹkàn láti University of Ibadan tí àwọn ẹ̀la kọ́kọ́ máa dárúkọ nítorí pé àwọn ni wọ́n gbà wá lálejò àwọn ni wọ́n fún wa nílé àwọn náà fún wa nírànlọ́wọ́ náà fún wa ní oríṣiríṣi táwọn olóògùn máa ń pè ní logistic support ọ̀pọ̀ ìwò àbí àwọn professors àwọn ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n àwọn ọ̀mọ̀wé lóríṣiríṣi la wọ́n gbà lálejò bí àwọn ọ̀mọ̀wé rẹpẹtẹ àwọn bíi Professor Délé Ọláyíwọlá àwọn tí wọ́n jẹ́ adarí Institute of African Studies ní Nigerian lọ́wọ́ yìí ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n Ọláyíwọlá ọ̀mọ̀wé láìpẹ́ ọmọdé kò síbẹ̀ wọn. Àtúrí ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n Professor Remiraji tó wà ní àwọn náà tún jẹ́ àwọn ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n Professor Remiraji yìí àwọn náà tún jẹ́ òǹtarìgì nínú àwọn tó members IFC tí àjọ ń bá kìíní ìsílẹ̀. Professor Awoleke wà níbí Adeleke àbí mo rí wọn lẹ́ẹ̀kan Professor Adeleke. Bàbá Adeleke. Professor Awoniyi náà wà ń bí lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ Professor Adeleke mo ṣe lẹ́ẹ̀kan àbí bàbá àmàlí bá wọ́n pọ̀ Professor Morakiyo náà wà ṣe ẹkún ìdílé o lóríṣiríṣi bẹ́ẹ̀ àtúrí ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n tá a bá sọ pé Ìbàdàn Film Circle kí ni nǹkan tí a dó lórí bí ìṣe àti ìmọ̀ nípa film bó ṣe máa tẹ̀síwájú àwọn ní ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n kan níbi tó jẹ́ pé òun gọ́gọ́ òun gba gbogbo ìwé tó mọ̀ lórí Professor Agenius Ekwensi. Doctor of Film. Right here. Thank you very much for coming, sir. Àwọn professors wọ́n ṣe máa wọlé àwọn ṣe wà ń bí tá àti ìdárúkọ ní ìsìn àmọ́ nísìnyí ẹ jẹ́ ká bọ́ sí àwọn èèyàn jàǹkànjàǹkàn tí kìí ṣe jàǹdùkú o wọ́n wà ń bí náà àwọn tó jẹ́ pé ńgbà tí bàbá kọ́ àwọn tí bàbá fi iṣẹ́ lé lọ́wọ́ àwọn tó ń bá bàbá ṣiṣẹ́ lóríṣiríṣi wọ́n kú ìjókòó níbí mo kọ́kọ́ fẹ́ pé alàgbà Oyèwọlé olówó mojú ọ̀rẹ́ bàbá Agébú nìyẹn o wọ́n pọ̀ o àtúndí alàgbà Túnbọ̀sún ọdún sí páàdì bàbá òye. Adétúnjí Yàyà àwọn náà wà bí àdàpọ̀. Wọ́n pọ̀ lóríṣiríṣi tó jẹ́ pé tí wọ́n jẹ́ ọmọ bàbá a lè kà wọ́n tí wọ́n wà ní ìjókòó níbi tó bá ti wọlé tàbá tí ewé ẹran tó bá ti rán mi létí wọ́n ti máa sọ fún yín. Ní àkótán àwọn tó jẹ́ tá à ń pè ní àwọn ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ Ìbàdàn Film Circle tó ṣe pé tá a bá rí wọn gbogbo tòní ò ní ṣe é ṣe ọkùnrin náà Ìbàdàn Film Circle mi ò ní dárúkọ ilé ẹ̀kọ́ kan ẹ̀dá kan dédé wọ́n mọ̀ yìí. Any Ibadan Film Circle members there, please do stand up and be recognized. Yes, and because they're standing up, I can recognize them right away. Thank you. Professor is there. That's Lara Tubosu. Mrs. Bosse Borakiyo is there. Right? And that is Tunde Olaoye. Damipe Ayo Babajide. Bensi Elu. Dele Borakiyo. Akọ̀lọ́ oríṣiríṣi. Ẹ káàbọ̀. Ọwọ́ tó rẹ̀ nìkan lókè lọ́wọ́. Orí ìsà. Adébáyọ̀ ti jáde wà mbẹ́. Aṣọ òrìrì o. Ẹ ṣe ẹ káàbọ̀. Spidey náà wà mí. Àwọn dà. Ẹ dìde. Àwọn ìyá wa nù. Aṣọ òrìrì. Ẹ ṣe o. Ní báyìí, wọ́n tún ní àwọn ọ̀dọ́gbọ́n kan tó wà bí Professor Ayo Kehinde from the English department. Please. Baba, ẹ ti dé mi sa. A rí yìí. Ẹ ṣe púpọ̀. God bless you. Baba, a máa rí bá o. Ẹni fọjọ́ lọ́jọ́ lọ o. Ẹni sáré kú báyìí. Àwa lá máa bá ẹ̀yin lẹ́ máa bá wa. Lágbára Ọlọ́run bá. Ẹni sáré lọ o. Ẹ̀yin èèyàn, mo padà sórí ṣé mo ti ṣe pé ẹgbọ́n a ní pé tàbá kárùkọ àwọn jàǹkànjàǹkàn ádàrúkọ àwọn jàǹdùkú àbí ẹni lọ àwọn ádàrúkọ jàǹdùkú kan wà ń bí olóńbẹ̀rẹ̀ sábẹ́ kìíní yìí gbẹ̀ngà wídàpọ̀ jàǹdùkú yán Gbẹ̀ngà Wídàpọ̀ is a member of IFC. We have a very mischievous subgroup in IFC called the Team Kero. Team Kero are the people who do not sleep on IFC. Right? We do our thing between 1:30 a.m. and 4:30 a.m. And Janduku Gbẹ̀ngà Wídàpọ̀ is the president of Team Kero. Thank you very much. We'll continue with the program, and I'm going to bring back Dr. Tunde Azeez to continue on what we have on line. Thank you very much.
Ǹjẹ́ lè fún ọ̀gbẹ́ni yìí ní àtẹ́wọ́lẹ̀ kan sí olórí àwọn jàǹdùkú nìyẹn. Ṣùgbọ́n kó tó lọ níjì kó tó lọ a máa kọrin kan. Ẹ̀rẹ́gbẹ́ wa bí ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń ṣẹgbẹ́ ẹ̀yin jákujàku ẹ̀rẹ́gbẹ́ wa bí. IFC is a great group. It's a very great gathering of intellectuals. Máa padà sí Yorùbá torí mi ìbò intellectual ni o. I'm not intellectual sure. A máa tẹ̀síwájú báyìí ṣùgbọ́n ká tó máa tẹ̀síwájú orin kan wà tí mo gbọ́ngbà kan mímọ̀ bí bàbá máa mọ̀ pa orin náà Túndé máa mọ̀ orin náà torí akọrin yẹn ń gbàtàwà nífẹ̀ẹ́ wọ́n ní Ìjẹ̀ṣà ló kọ́ mo lè má lè kọ́ dáadáa o ṣùgbọ́n Túndé á rán mi létí ṣé mọ̀ pé àwọn òbí láyé ìgbà yẹn tó bá kọrin báyìí wọ́n máa ń ná olówó rẹpẹtẹ ni Sọ̀ní tó bá kọrin báyìí wọ́n lè fún mọ́tò àwọn náà wá ní olórin kan nílẹ̀ Ìjẹ̀ṣà bóyá lóòótọ́ ni bóyá rọ́ ni o àwọn bàbá wa ń bí wọ́n ní Adédára ní orúkọ olórin náà ló bá ń kọ níjọ́ kan wọ́n bá ná olówó ló bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ mo ṣì yá dìṣàn nílọ́jọ́ kan mo ṣì yá di òbí lọ́jọ́ kan tó bá wọ láyé Elédùmarè mo ṣì yá dìṣàn nílọ́jọ́ kan bó bá ṣe ògbé ló ń kọrin láti òwúrọ̀ wá ti pàgọ́ mẹ́fà o bó bá ṣe ṣàn ní ló ń kọrin láti pàgọ́ mẹ́jọ ìmọ̀lẹ́dẹ́ àrà ń kọrin láti òwúrọ̀ mi ò máa pàgọ́ ọ̀bọ̀ o mo ṣì yá di ṣàn ní lọ́jọ́ kan mo mọ orin wúkọ o mo mọ orin wúkọ instrumenti ló jẹ nílùú ya mo mọ orin wúkọ èèyàn mi ẹjẹ àgbẹ̀ àwọn ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ lárugẹ ẹ ṣe o. Ní báyìí a fẹ́ mọ̀ díẹ̀ sí nípa àwọn bàbá wa ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹni tó bá jókòó ti àwọn èèpo wa láti ilẹ̀ aláwọ̀ funfun ẹ jọ̀ọ́ bá ń túmọ̀ àwọn kan tí ń sọ yìí o ẹ sì má paraphrase ẹ má túmọ̀ ẹ ní tó bá ní òkú kọ̀rọ̀bìtì kọ̀rọ̀bìtì ẹ túmọ̀ ẹ bẹ́ẹ̀ tó bá ní òkú kọ̀rọ̀bìtì kọ̀rọ̀bìtì ẹ túmọ̀ ẹ bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n ti bẹ̀ mí wọ́n ní máa sọ ìbò díẹ̀díẹ̀ ọmọ òkè ògùn ní mí ìgbà tí wọ́n kọ́ mi léèbó gan Yorùbá náà fi kọ́ mi wọ́n kọ́ mi lóyìnbó ní Yorùbá ẹ wá ní máa sọ Yorùbá ní wá ní ìrìsọ so now ladies and gentlemen I want to listen to the citation of our father Chief Moses Adejumo Olaiya. It's been voiced by Mr. Lani Stevens. So let's listen attentively to the great work that this man has done so we can be able to really appreciate him. The voice, I introduce the voice of Mr. Lani Stevens. Thank you.
Moses Olaiya Adejumo, M.O.N., popularly known by his stage name BABA SALA, is one of the most famous and accomplished Nigerians of all time. The dramatist, actor, musician, and filmmaker hails from Ilisha, Osun State. He is universally acknowledged as the father of Nigerian comedy. Born in 1936, Moses Olaiya first worked as a sanitary inspector in the civil service. He combined his civil service job with part-time teaching engagements and daily thrift collection known as Ajo in Yoruba. Moses Olaiya didn't allow those conventional occupations to kill his interest in the arts and entertainment. By 1964, he had founded the Federal Rhythm Dandies, a juju and high-life band. Moses Olaiya served as the front man and leader of the band. Many performers who later became household names trained under Moses Olaiya during his years as a band leader. One of those he mentored was the young Sunday Adeni Adegeye, better known as King Sunny Ade. Sunny Ade cut his musical teeth as a guitar player in Olaiya's band before going on to have a glittering musical career of international relevance. Moses Olaiya's career as an actor and comedian was blossoming at the same time as his musical one. In 1965, his Alawada Theatre won a talent hunt competition organized by WNTV, Western Nigeria Television, then owned by the Western Nigerian Government Broadcast Corporation, before it later became NTA Ibadan. That triumph led to a weekly half-hour broadcast of Moses Olaiya's comedy show by the station. The one-time premier of the Western region, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, was a fan of Moses Olaiya's comedy. After watching some of the shows, Chief Awolowo directed the WNTV to give him a one-year contract of drama sketches. In a 1984 interview with Tunde Lakoju, Moses Olaiya said, "They, WNTV and NTA Ibadan, did much to promote my theatre. I will say I owe more than 50% of my present success to them. For about 2 to 3 years from 1965, we concentrated mainly on our television programs and appearances. We became very popular with our Yoruba-speaking audience. After that, we ventured out with our plays. Our audience was already made. The television had done it." Moses Olaiya's band, the Federal Rhythm Dandies, metamorphosed into the Moses Olaiya Concert Party, which Moses Olaiya disbanded in 1969 to form the Moses Olaya International Alawada Theatre Limited. Moses Olaya had started acting in 1960 in Lagos, but the inauguration of that company was a final milestone in its transition into full-time comedy and stage acting. The troops composing the Yoruba Traveling Theatre, also known as Alarijo Theatre, would number nearly 150 by the late 1980s. Of that lot, Moses Olaya's Awada Keri organization remained idiosyncratic in its exclusive focus on comedy. There is a critical consensus that Olaya's company was one of the most successful as well as one of the most experimental among the Yoruba traveling theatre companies. In corroboration, Martin Banham and Errol Hill wrote in the Cambridge Guide to African and Caribbean Theatre, Moses Olaya Adejumo, still arguably the greatest commercial success story of the Yoruba traveling theatre tradition, is radical to the point of having introduced into the start of his performances film projections of foreign documentary and other cinematic productions. Indeed, this novelty was the genesis of the eventual abandonment by Yoruba traveling theatre of live performances in favor of film and video. The Moses Olaya International Alawada Theatre Limited toured extensively. It visited different corners of Nigeria as well as several countries in West Africa. It also performed in the United Kingdom and the United States. Despite being a Christian, Moses Olaya chose the stage name Lamidi Sonny Oroko, aka BABA Sala, in acknowledgement of the predominantly Muslim community in which he first started performing. His stage wife was Iya Sala, whom he fondly called Wosi Wonkoko. He chose his youngest wife to play the role of Sala because of her petite stature. My stage wife is not my real wife, Moses Olaya said in a newspaper interview. Another actress, Karile and Sala herself, were my wives. Karile refused to be Yasala because she always pitied me. I was never able to beat her or do anything rough with her on stage. Out of sympathy, she chose to be Karile, but she trained Yasala and others. The amusing items that constitute Moses Olaya's trademark costume, his humongous spectacles and massive bow tie, as well as his pipe, alarm clock, and oversized shoes, are instantly recognizable to his legions of fans around the world. In 1978, the federal government of Nigeria made Moses Olaya a member of the Order of the Niger, MON. To receive that honor, Moses Olaya went to the venue of the National Award ceremony wearing his trademark costume. And his presence was so hilarious that it had the then military head of state, General Olusegun Obasanjo, in stitches. Moses Olaya counts that day among his happiest. I was very happy that playing a fool would bring me such honor, Moses Olaya said. In that same interview, he went on to talk about his decades as a touring artist. In those days, people came to watch us at the National Theatre with analgesic tablets in readiness for a laughing session which would result in headaches. Moses Olaya recalled, "People would laugh until their heads ached. I have always wanted people to laugh. If I am on stage and people are not laughing, I will not be happy at all. I will make sure I do something that will make them laugh." In fact, in those days when we were acting at the National Theatre and Ogunde was on the other side of the theatre with his films, people preferred to come to the BABA SALA side of the theatre to come and watch our comedy. In the 1980s, Moses Olaya, ever the intrepid adventurer, struck out to explore new artistic territory. Before then, Moses Olaya had been the pioneer of live theatre performance as well as a trailblazer in the creation of indigenous content for radio and television. In 1982, he also became one of the pioneers of indigenous Nigerian language filmmaking by collaborating with Olabalogun to produce Orumoru for the cinema. He followed this up with another masterpiece of the big screen Mushibolato in 1985. The film scholar Jonathan Haynes praised both films highly. Oromoru and Mushibolato represent, in retrospect, the high watermark of Nigerian film comedy and deserve their great popularity, the scholar wrote. BABA Sala's personality and excellent acting are the center of things, but Oromoru and Mushibolato are set in rich, various, and well-structured comic worlds. In spite of the theatrical derivation of many of these elements, the films are fully cinematic in design and execution, and their high production values, for example, the performance by musicians who are major stars in their own right, would not have been possible on stage. The film scholar went on to conclude, BABA Sala is unusual, I believe unique, in that he has acquired his own theater, the cinema, the BABA Sala, located in a modern shopping complex just outside the gates of the University of Ibadan. Sadly, the great success that Moses Olaiya had rapidly achieved on the big screen was soured by the bane of the Nigerian film industry, piracy. The trauma that Moses Olaiya experienced after his film Oromoru was pirated is well documented. He had to sell his houses and other properties to repay the bank loan he had acquired to produce the film. He also had to direct the proceeds from his other works into servicing the debt, especially because part of the collateral for the loan came from Chief JMJ, Moses Olaiya's friend. As elder apostle, role model, film star, please join the Ibadan Film Circle in welcoming this man of many parts, comic genius, film producer, artistic pioneer, dandier, elder apostle, role model, film star, television and radio actor, stage performer, our very excellent, legendary entertainer, and
Ladies and gentlemen,
Moses,
standing ovation for Baba.
aka BABA Sala. It is a edition of
Alawada Baba Sala.
Little round of applause.
Baba Sala. Okay. Alawada Baba Sala. Okay. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. That should have been a paper to be delivered, that documented this enigma of a man. We need to put our hands together for the person who compiled that, who wrote it out. And that person is no other person than my friend Rotimi Babatunde. Is in the house? And that was the voice of Lani Stevens. Well, today we are going to be doing something unusual. At the first edition of this Legacy Series, we had our guest talk to us. We asked questions, and he responded to many of them. This is slightly different. We brought Baba here so that we can all celebrate him, so that the younger generations, our generation of our people who don't know him, will meet him one-on-one, so that the older generation who that he has impacted upon can also come here and celebrate him. That's why we are here. So the program is going to be very little. What I'm going to do now is to call those people that Baba has impacted on directly. I was impacted upon by this man here indirectly. In those days, I remember, growing up in one of the best parts of Lagos. You can't imagine that place, Ajegule. That's the best part of Lagos. And I would stay, they would send you to go and buy tuwo, and you are carrying the tuwo, and they've told you it mustn't get cold. And you have got to buy the tuwo, and you are, as you are going, you are hearing LMD, and say, Addis Ababa. And then you hold the tuwo plate, and you start there listening. and then tuwo gets cold, and the person who sent you tuwo is famished over there, and then you finish it and you are laughing home, and then you have a knock on your head. Oh no, that's out of no, that was how impactful this man he was. He made some of us receive some knocks, and that didn't stop us from becoming the same mistake, making the same mistake again, or deliberately just being there. Baba, àwọn ọmọ tẹ bí sílẹ̀, àwọn la fẹ́ pè báyìí, kí wọ́n wá sọ díẹ̀ nínú ìpàtẹ́kó nílé ayé wọn. A fẹ́ pè àwọn tó ti bá ṣiṣẹ́, àwọn tó ti bá yín ṣiṣẹ́, kí wọ́n wá sọ díẹ̀ nínú bó ṣe mọ̀ yín sí, kí ni àǹfààní tí wọ́n rí pé wọ́n bá yín ṣiṣẹ́, kí làwọn náà ti kọ́ lára yín tó àwọn náà tó ń fún àwọn ọmọ nísìnyí báyìí tó fi jẹ́ kí eré orí ìtàgé yìí kó ṣì wà láàyè, kó ṣì máa tẹ̀síwájú. Nínú àwọn tá a fẹ́ pè lénìí, àkọ́kọ́ nu wọn ni àwọn bàbá wa Túnbọ̀sún Ọdúnsìn Bádì, kó wá sọ díẹ̀ fún wa nípa wọ́n ṣe mọ̀ bá sí. A fún wọn ní ìṣẹ́jú 5 kó fi sọ̀rọ̀ nípa bàbá. Ẹ bá mi fi àtẹ́wọ́ bí wọ́n wá sí bíi. Àbí tí ká fún ní ọmọge kan kó bá yín kó máa bàbá ṣe kọ́ fún ní àbí wọ́n jẹ́ àdẹ́fẹ́ fún wọn. Ó dáná ẹ káàbọ̀ sà, ẹ bá sọ díẹ̀ nípa kọ́tẹ́mù.
Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin ọ̀gá wa, ẹ̀yin agbátẹrù ètò yìí, gbogbo ẹ̀yin ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n wa, mo kí yín ẹ kú iṣẹ́ ọpọlọ, ẹ ṣé o, adúpẹ́. Bàbá wa kí yín lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí pé ẹ kú oríire ọjọ́ òní, ìgbà ọdún kan lágbára Ọlọ́run ẹ mọ̀ wà pẹ̀lú wa báyìí. A ò lè sọ̀rọ̀ nípa bàbá wa tán. Inú mi dùn fún gbogbo àwọn akitiyan tẹ́ ẹ ti ṣe láti kó àwọn nǹkan kan jáde fún àwọn ìran tó ń bọ̀ láti mọ ta ni wọ́n ń pè ní Baba Sala. Ojú méjì lèmi fẹ́ ká wò nípa Baba Sala. Ká wo Baba Sala gẹ́gẹ́ bí Àpọ́sù Mósè Ọláìyá Adéjùmọ̀ ní ojú kan. Ká wá wo Baba Sala ní ojú kejì. Baba Sala gẹ́gẹ́ bí mo ṣe fẹ́ kí àwa ọ̀dọ́ tá bá ń dìde bọ̀ ká mọ̀ Baba Sala ní ẹnìkan tí ẹ̀yin olóyìnbó máa ń sọ pé is sincerely stupid. That display stupidity ní pátápátá tí ò lẹ́gbẹ́. Ó dùn ní láyé òde òní àwàdà tá à ń rí níta kò jọ ẹ̀bùn látọ̀run wá tí Ọlọ́run fi síbẹ̀ ni. A display stupidity yẹn tí ò láfiwé. Èkejì ni mo fẹ́ ká wo Baba Sala nípa ohun tó ti mú wá sínú iṣẹ́ yìí nítorí àwọn tó ń bọ̀. Gbogbo orú àwọn tó bá wá kàwé níbí àbáwọn tó bá kọ́ṣẹ́ eré yìí níbì kan, kí ni tá a lè fi sí Baba Sala? Ó ṣe púpọ̀ tó jẹ́ tá a lè máa fọwọ́ sọ̀yà nípa rẹ̀ tínú wa máa dùn sí pé ó mú àwọn nǹkan wọ̀nyí jẹ́ kí iṣẹ́ yẹn wú àwọn èèyàn lórí. Ara àwọn nǹkan tí wọ́n kà jáde ń bí báyìí ní ta gbọ́ ohun yẹn ni àwọn nǹkan tí bàbá yìí tó fi ara rẹ̀ ṣe. Fún àpẹẹrẹ èlò ní tẹlifíṣàn san fún wọn gbà náà, ṣùgbọ́n tó bá san bí 60 náírà yẹn fún wọn nígbà náà, bàbá yìí á pín fún gbogbo òṣìṣẹ́ rẹ̀. Àwọn ìyàwó rẹ̀ ní àforí pa yóò wà tọrọ kọ́bọ̀kọ́bọ̀ lọ́wọ́ wọn tí ó fi jẹun. Òun ló jẹ́ kí iṣẹ́ yẹn wá ju wọn ṣe. Ó ní ò jẹ́ káwọn èèyàn ó lè fi wọ́n sílẹ̀. Fún ìwúrí àwa tá a mọ bàbá yìí dáadáa, Baba Sala ní ẹnì kínní nínú àgọ́ àwa tá à ń ṣeré tó kọ́kọ́ ra tó fún àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ rẹ̀ ní car loans. A rí àwọn tán lórúkọ tó pọ̀ tó jẹ́ pé kí oṣù tó parí ìdajì owó oṣù àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ wọn ó ti lọ, á ti bá fáìnì lọ pé ó léèdì ọ̀dẹ̀ wọ́n pè ọ̀dáhùn ọ̀fọ̀ṣọ fún ìyàwó mi, ìdajì owó oṣù ó ti lọ. Ṣùgbọ́n tirẹ̀ ó rí i pé ó yẹ káwọn tó ń bá àwọn ṣiṣẹ́ ra ọkọ̀ iléeṣẹ́ ń fún wọn ní car loans òun náà fáwọn òṣìṣẹ́ tiẹ̀ náà ní car loan èyí tí ò fẹ́ fi tiẹ̀ ra káà ọlọ́ fi kọ́lé ara ohun tí bàbá Sàlá ṣe tí gbogbo wa ń rí nìyẹn. ẹ wá kíyèsí àwọn àǹfààní kan wà tó bá sọnù mọ́ ọ lọ́wọ́ gẹ́gẹ́ bọ́n ṣe kà nínú ọ̀rọ̀ tá a gbọ́ lẹ́ẹ̀kan. Kí ló gbé bàbá Sàlá dépò? Ẹnu èmi gba eléyìí láti sọ wípé ìfagagbága tán sọ̀rọ̀ nípa rẹ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀kan yẹn wọ́n fi rẹ́ bàbá Sàlá jẹ ni, ṣùgbọ́n ilé ọba tó jó ló fi ẹwà fún un. Ní ọdún yẹn tán ṣe competition tá à ń wí yìí, bàbá Sàlá ló gba ipò kíní, ṣùgbọ́n a lo àwa ara wa, ọmọ wa ni wọ́n gbé ipò kíní yẹn fún ẹnìkan. Nígbà tó ọmọ tó wọn máa ṣe fún bàbá Sàlá, wọn wá ní ọ̀dà ní tá a fi jù wọ lórí ni pé wàá ṣeré ọlọ́sọ̀ọ̀sẹ̀ kọ́tà kan fún wa. Nígbà tẹni yẹn máa dé láti ìlú òyìnbó tán lọ tó jẹ́ èrè ìfagagbága tán ṣe, nígbà tí ó dé bàbá Sàlá ti popular nígboro Ìbàdàn. Ó di tó jẹ́ pé níjọ́ Wednesday báyìí láago 6, every vehicle on the street literally are off the road. Títí àdáni tí gbogbo àwọn èèyàn ti sáré lọ lé lọ wo aláwàdà. Nígbà tẹni yẹn máa tìlú òyìnbó dé, bàbá Sàlá ti gbalẹ̀. Ẹni tí wọ́n fi rẹ̀ jẹ, tí wọ́n gbà lọ́wọ́ rẹ̀, ẹni yẹn tó wá dé tó wá ń du ipò yẹn pé ó yẹ kẹ́ fẹ́mi náà dẹ́gbọ̀n àìjẹ méjìlá bá àlàdé, olùkọ́ àlàdé ò sì gbé. Ṣe rí bàbá yìí àforírọ̀ rẹ̀ adúpẹ́ lọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run, ó wà láyé lónìí. Gbogbo nǹkan tá à ń sọ nípa rẹ̀ yìí, àwọn kan nínú àwọn ọ̀gá wa tí wọ́n jókòó wọ̀nyí, ìmí inú wọn wà nílé ìwé nígbà tí bàbá Sàlá ṣe kí ní tí mò ń sọ yìí, nínú wọn wọ́n lè mọ̀ nípa ẹ̀. Ṣe rí bàbá Sàlá tí à ń sọ̀rọ̀ rẹ̀ yìí, àwọn tó ṣe òun ló fi àyè gba kí gbogbo nǹkan rẹ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí gbòòrò. Fún àpẹẹrẹ, iléeṣẹ́ tẹlifíṣàn WNTV WNBS, bàbá Sàlá pẹ̀lú ẹni tó tún fún iléeṣẹ́ yẹn ní ìgbọ́wọ́sókè ńlá kan nípa eré orí ìtàgé wọn ní Òbíṣẹ̀san Hall. Gbogbo àwọn ọ̀gá tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ nígbà náà, kò sí ẹnìkan tí ò lè sọ wípé bàbá yìí ó gbé ọwọ́ òun sókè. Tí bàbá Sàlá bá dúró báyìí láì sọ̀rọ̀ rárá àti kọ́mọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni Òbíṣẹ̀san Hall á dàrú. Ó kàn jáde síta lẹ́yìn stage rẹ̀, ó dẹ̀ búrú síwájú báyìí, kò tí ì wí nǹkan kan o, hall ó ti dàrú fún ẹ̀rín. Ìyẹn náà ló dẹ̀ ń ṣe nínú ayé gbogbo àwọn ọ̀gá wọn yẹn nígbà náà. Tá a bá rí ẹnikẹ́ni tó fẹ́ dàbí bàbá Sàlá, nǹkan kan ni mo fẹ́ tọrọ lọ́wọ́ yín, ń tẹ̀yìn olóyìnbó pè ní self discipline. Eléyìí ni bàbá yìí ni òun là ń bá yọ̀ lónìí, kọ́lọ̀ ń jẹ́ kán gùn lẹ́mìí. Àwọn èèyàn mi wá tún sọ ní tó kù tí wọ́n mọ̀ nípa bàbá yìí rẹpẹtẹ.
Ẹ ṣeun gan sà, àgbáyé adalẹ́ o, ẹ ṣeun. Láìpẹ́ láì jìnà, a wà ṣe báyìí náà fẹ́yìn náà. A ti gbọ́ pọ̀ nù nǹkan tí bàbá ṣe lẹ́nu wọn, ṣùgbọ́n ó ṣì kù, ó kù ìbọn ró. Ní báyìí màá wá pé kí n tó máa pé ẹ tó máa wá sọ̀rọ̀ ńsìn, ó di dandan fún mi kí n ṣe àfihàn ẹnìkan tí òun náà gbé iṣẹ́ ìlárugẹ nílẹ̀ wa ń bí ní o àti lókè òkun. I want to recognize the arrival and presence of one of Africa's foremost filmmakers. The man looks young, younger than his age. Some of us are envious that he's dragging some things with us, but we are going to leave him to continue. We'll deal with him when we get there tomorrow. I'm sorry, on Friday. On that day, we are going to unveil his real age to everybody, so that he will stop threatening some of us, dragging. We won't do anything to you harmful. We are going to expose you as a man close to 7 scores. Ladies and gentlemen, we have in the house with us one of our icons and a member of IFC, the legendary movie maker, Tunde Kelani. Let them see you, a young man, let them see you. You see? You are welcome, sir. On Friday, we'll be at the Freedom Park to celebrate this man 68 years on earth, as young as he is. Yeah. And also in the house with us is another very important personality, Yinka Ogundaise. Please stand up for recognition. You know, in IFC we have Janko here. And we have Jantuku on some side. But I think we have more Janko than Jantuku. Well, the equation is not like 50-50, 51-49, you know. Actually, there's no way any Janko can form a group. And you are supposed to see Janko people. No, there don't be many. Now, I want to call on another child of Baba, and that's Alagba Oyewole Olowo Mojore, Baba Gebu, to tell us a few things about Baba. Ó yẹ káwọn ọ̀dọ́ àwọn gómìnà kan máa bí wọn kábàáyé kan máa bọ́ ṣe ń bọ̀ ní ẹ̀kọ́ wọn fi àìpé wọn lárugẹ àbí táwọn ní káwọn ọ̀dọ́ gbé wọn 14 years nìyẹn ọdún mẹ́rìnlá ẹ káàbọ̀ sà.
ẹkú rẹ̀ òkùnkùn ní ṣàlàáfíà ni how much are you? Jésù agbádùnrà rẹ̀ àrọ̀ Òdùmọ̀rẹ̀ á fi mélòdì sí búrẹ́dì rírà lọ lófo Jésù àhọ́bọ́tà lé iná àtọ́ bàbá sàlá yẹn àti bàbá sàlá lọ lára ó lè sà mo bá yín dúpẹ́ mo bá yín yọ̀ sà fún ọjọ́ òní mo sì kí gbogbo wa náà kú oríire wípé a lè rí ọjọ́ òní. Kíní kan dùn mí díẹ̀ ó dẹ̀ jẹ́ ìkan lára tó jẹ́ ìbànújẹ́ gbogbo àwa tá a wà nínú iṣẹ́ yìí lónìí pé àwọn èèyàn wọ́n fi gbogbo ara fẹ́ wo ìran tó bá jẹ mọ́ eré orí ìtàgé mọ́. Ní tí à ń ṣe lónìí tó bá jẹ́ pé ẹ jẹ́ kí àwa ẹgbẹ́ òṣèré tètè gbọ́ sí ni ká ní ẹ fún wa ní àsọtẹ́lẹ̀ bíi oṣù kan ni inú tíátà yìí ìbá ti gbèrò bóyá òun ni ìbá dẹ̀dá ògo eré orí ìtàgé padà tí kì bá tún fà sẹ́yìn mọ́ ṣùgbọ́n ó bà ní kò tí ì bàjẹ́ nítorí pé gbogbo àwa ẹgbẹ́ òṣèré tá a sì ń fi iṣẹ́ yìí jẹun lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ àtìkó ni àtògùn ni àti Lagos àti gbogbo alàbájú ibi ìpa ṣùgbọ́n ní tí mo yẹ ń sọ eléyìí ni wípé nítorí ìmíì tí ẹ bá ṣe ẹ jẹ́ kí a máa tètè gbọ́ ká lè máa kún yín lọ́wọ́ nítorí pé irun wa ló kúnlẹ̀ ń bá wa fà. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín Ìbàdàn Film Circle Ọlọ́run dẹ̀ ní jẹ́ kó sùn yín kò ní rẹ̀ yín fún irú ayẹyẹ pàtàkì tẹ́ ẹ ṣe fún bàbá wa lónìí. Lágbára Ọlọ́run á san yín ní ẹ̀san rẹ̀. Bí òjò bá ti rọ̀ àwọn Yorùbá ní ìrìgì tún sẹ̀ mọ́ ìyẹn lọ́nà ti ntí ọ̀rẹ́ mi alàgbà túbọ̀ sún ọ̀làdàpọ̀ Ọdúnsì tó ti sọ nípa wọn torí ó fẹ́ mọ̀ sí nǹkan kan tó tún ṣẹ́kù mọ́ téèyàn lè sọ nípa bàbá yìí. Àbúrò mi Túndé Kèlání tẹ́ fi hàn sìn òun ni ẹ̀bá jẹ́ kó tún wá sọ tóun mọ̀ nípa wọn kó mọ́ di pé èmi àti túbọ̀ sùn pé àwọn repeat ara wa ṣùgbọ́n ìwọ̀nba oríṣi nǹkan méjì kéékèèké àbí mẹ́ta tó ń rántí fi kún tó sì wá sí ọpọlọ tèmi lèmi àtúfẹ́ sọ nípa wọn. Ní gbogbo ìgbà tí bàbá Sàlá tó ń jẹ́ kí gbogbo ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà rẹ́rìn àrín fọ́ lórí, àwọn èèyàn ò mọ̀ pé wòlíì ni bàbá Sàlá, wípé Ọlọ́run ti pè é ní gbogbo àsìkò tí ó fi ń pa gbogbo wa lẹ́rìn káàkiri yẹn, ṣùgbọ́n nítorí wípé wọ́n tún kúnlẹ̀ wọ́n bẹ̀bẹ̀ wípé kí Ọlọ́run kó yọ̀ǹda fáwọn káwọn tiẹ̀ ṣe eré díẹ̀ láti fi lè dá àwọn ìlú Nàìjíríà lárayá àti gbogbo ibi tí wọ́n bá ti gbúrò wọn. Ìyẹn ni ẹ fi rí wọn ní ìwọ̀nba iye ọdún tí wọ́n fi pa gbogbo wa lẹ́rìn káàkiri yẹn. Síbẹ̀síbẹ̀ ìpè yẹn ń kán wọn lójú ló fi jẹ́ pé àsìkò tí ẹ wá rí wọn lórí ìtàgé mọ́ tààrà, ìgbà náà ni wọ́n tó wá gbà pátápátá pé àwọn yọ̀ọ̀da ara àwọn fún iṣẹ́ Ọlọ́run tí wọ́n ti ń pè wọ́n fún látẹ̀yìnwá. Èmi ò tí ì rí irú wọn o, apart from being a primus inter pares ní láàrin eré orí ìtàgé tí wọ́n méjọ̀ lórí kọ́mẹ́dì. Èmi ò tí ì rí ẹni tó jẹ́ wípé tí mò ń sọ nípa ọ̀rọ̀ pé Ọlọ́run pè wọ́n yẹn kí wọ́n dẹ̀ wá sọ fún èèyàn wípé tó ó ti fèrè lẹ̀ báyìí o, wọ́n tún sọ wípé ẹ dákun ṣùgbọ́n lẹ́ẹ̀kàndọ́gbọ̀n tó bá di dandan tán ẹ máa yọ̀ǹda àwọn láti ààfin ibi tí wọ́n jẹ alákòóso chọ́ọ̀chì Kérúbù àti Séráfù mẹ́sà, ẹ máa yọ̀ǹda fẹ́ àwọn lẹ́ẹ̀kọ̀ọ̀kan o, ṣùgbọ́n wọ́n á ní kinní kan làwọn fẹ́ gbà lọ́wọ́ yín sà, nítorí pé ní gbogbo àsìkò tí wọ́n fi ń pa wá lẹ́rìn káàkiri yẹn wọ́n ń pọnmi sílẹ̀ dé òǹgbẹ, wọ́n ronú iṣẹ́ tí àwọn lè dá sílẹ̀ tí àwọn ìyàwó àwọn ọmọ wọn tí wọ́n lè máa live on, kò tiẹ̀ kì í ṣe pé lẹ́yìn ìgbà tí wọ́n bá kúrò ń bẹ̀ Ọlọ́run jẹ́ kí wọ́n pẹ́ láyé sí, ṣùgbọ́n pé tí wọ́n lè máa live on pé àìbá àmọ́ wọ́n ti ń sọ pé òní ti rí ọ̀la kì í rí bẹ́ẹ̀ tí mú babaláwo nípa ọ̀rọ̀ ọ̀run. Iṣẹ́ hotel business ni wọ́n tún dá sílẹ̀, ṣìkejì theatre arts practice. Àwọn chọ́ọ̀chì yẹn wá sọ wípé gbogbo hòtẹ́ẹ̀lì tẹ́ ti kọ́ kò ní wó, ṣùgbọ́n ẹ jáwọ́ ń bi business yẹn pátápátá. Bàbá tẹríba fọ́lọ́run ó jáwọ́ nù business yẹn, ilé nìkan ló kùtà kàn rí. Ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ ta ọtí mọ́, àgbọ́dọ̀ gbúrò pé ẹ ta ọtí mọ́. Bàbá jáwọ́ nú òwò ọtí tó jẹ́ pé distributor oríṣiríṣi brand of beer ni wọ́n wá yọ̀ dára wọn fọ́lọ́run pátápátá pé ìwọ̀nba nǹkan tó bá rí fi bọ́ àwọn ní ministry yẹn náà ni ó kù wọ́n kù. Èmi ò tí ì rí ẹni tí ó yọ̀ dára ẹ̀ tó bẹ́yẹn rí, lórí tẹ́ bá wo ohun tó ń lọ láyé òde òní nígbà tá a bá jẹ pásítọ̀ tán a tún ní oríṣiríṣi kọ́mpìnì nǹkan kan dá sílẹ̀. Wọ́n bá débi wípé ọlá ìyá tẹ̀ ń jẹ́ yẹn, ọlá ìyá yẹn yóò yí padà, yóò di ọlá kí ni wọ́n pè, ọlá Olúwa, wọ́n láwọn gbà. Ìyẹn jẹ́ aspect kan tí ọ̀rẹ́ mi ò rántí fi kún. Nídàkejì wọ́n fẹ́ kí ipa wọn kó hàn ní gbogbo oríṣiríṣi ọ̀nà tó jẹ mọ́ iṣẹ́ eré ìtàgé. Nítorí náà wọ́n tún wá invest lérí photoplay magazine, eléyìí tí orúkọ tí ó bá jáde létà tó jẹ́ Ìbùkún Aláwàdà. Ṣùgbọ́n ibi tó ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ ni wípé nígbà tí atọ́ka wà tí àwọn wá ń ṣeré fún atọ́ka, èmi jẹ́ kan lára àwọn olóòtú atọ́ka. Láti ìgbà náà ló ti ń wù wọ́n láti dá atọ́ka yẹn sílẹ̀, ọmọ bí wọ́n ṣe lè bá mi sọ pé àwọn ní interest nínú kinní ṣùgbọ́n nígbà tí Ọlọ́run máa ṣe iṣẹ́ ẹ̀ láti iléeṣẹ́ rédíò ni mo ti kúrò tí mo fi lọ sí Atọ́ka. Nígbà Ọlọ́run máa ṣiṣẹ́ èmi gan ò lè dúró ní ibẹ̀ yẹn pẹ́ tán ti wá gbọ́ pé mo fẹ́ padà sí Ìbàdàn. Wọ́n bá pè mí pé àwọn fẹ́ kópa nínú kinní, àwọn fẹ́ lórúkọ lórí ẹ̀. Mo ní ẹ máa ṣàwàdà nínú ìwé kíkà kó lè wọ́n láwọn ṣàfẹ́ ṣe kinní yẹn ò pé o. Àwọn tó dálẹ̀, àwọn èèbó tó dálẹ̀ iṣẹ́ yẹn lẹ̀ gan wọ́n kàn rọ́ọ̀nẹ̀ àti loss ní o, kò pé o. Ṣé ẹ rò pé ẹ lágbára? Wọ́n ní àwọn ò torí owó fẹ́ ṣe, àwọn fẹ́ torí kó lè wà ní àkọọ́lẹ̀. Kò dẹ̀ sí ẹnìkan nínú gbogbo àwọn tó ti try àti dá irú magazine yẹn sílẹ̀, àwọn bí attempt oríṣi 5-6 kò sí ẹyọ kan tó rí ṣe nínú wọn. Bí mo ṣe gbà láti bá wọn ṣiṣẹ́ pọ̀ nígbà náà nìyẹn ni a fi dá magazine Ìbùkún Aláwàdà sílẹ̀. Bá a ṣe dáwọ́ lé báyìí ló dẹ̀ ṣeé ṣe, ló ń jáde. Tó bá ti jáde ń bí títí ó ti dókè Ọya, ó ti délẹ̀ Ìgbò, ó dé nǹkan bàbá títí a dẹ̀ fi ṣe kí fíìmù tó wá take over. Kò sí èrè kọ́bọ̀ tó jáde fún. Nígbà tí a ní àwọn èèbó dá nǹkan lẹ̀ tí wọ́n jèrè sí láwà pé èèyàn dúdú. So ìyẹn ó tún jẹ́ nǹkan nínú ìyànjú tí àwọn èèyàn ò mọ̀ nípa wọn. Mélòó láàkà kí n tó wá gbé kíní yìí sílẹ̀, màá tún wá sọ nǹkan kan nípa wọn gẹ́gẹ́ bó ṣe jẹ́ pé ẹ̀tọ́ máa ń sọ pé ó wà unassuming. Wọn kì í jẹ́ kí bí ògo wọn ṣe bó ṣe yọ tó, bí ìràwọ̀ wọn ṣe tàn tó, bókìkí wọn ṣe kàn tó, wọn ń jẹ́ kó hàn nínú àbọ̀sílẹ̀ wọn àbí nínú ìbáṣepọ̀ wọn pẹ̀lú ọmọnìyàn. Ìyẹn ó lọ to a fault, that is pé kéèyàn rẹra ẹ̀ ńlẹ̀ púpọ̀ ju bó ṣe yẹ lọ. Àpẹẹrẹ ọ̀hún ni wípé nígbà tí bàbá wa olóyè Hubert Ògúnnùdé kọ́lọ́run fọ̀run kẹ́ wọn tí wọ́n fayé sílẹ̀, mo bẹ̀ bàbá yìí tì Ògúnnùdé tó kú. Òun ni life president Association of Nigerian Theatre Arts Practitioners. Mo bẹ̀ bàbá yìí tì wípé tó ẹ̀yin ó yá o, ẹ tètè múra o, kí ẹgbẹ́ ìkó lè dúró, ẹ̀yin ni ọpọ́n súnkàn o. Bàbá ní kí ló ti wí bàbá Gébú? Ló bá bú sẹ́rìn bó ṣe sọ́dí àwàdà mọ́ mi lọ́wọ́ nìyẹn pé kò sí tó jọ. Wọ́n ní àwọn kéré púpọ̀ sí ọ̀nà. Ẹ má fi kíní ìṣàwàdà, ẹ má fi kíní ìṣàwàdà. Bàbá ní òun ò tó ṣe. Wọ́n ríra wọn gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọlẹ́yìn pẹ̀lú bọ́lọ́run ṣe kẹ́ wọn tó. Ṣùgbọ́n tó bá yẹ pé wọ́n gbà náà láti ṣe kíní yẹn ni ìṣòro tí àwa ẹgbẹ́ yẹn ní lónìí, torí gbogbo ilẹ̀ ń kàwé ìròyìn lẹ́mọ bí tí ẹgbẹ́ òṣèré ní tó dé bá wa, àdánwò tó dé bá wa títí débi tá a dé lónìí. Ká ní wọ́n gbà náà o, bóyá àdánwò yẹn ìbá ti dé bá wa o, bóyá bàbá ṣe mọ́ túbọ̀, bàbá ṣe mọ́ bá bọ̀ ní. Ṣùgbọ́n n tí mò ń sọ ni pé mo fi ń yìn wọ́n láwo wípé wọ́n ríra wọn gẹ́gẹ́ bí anybody, ṣùgbọ́n wọ́n ríra wọn gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọmọ Ọlọ́run. Nítorí náà mi ò mọ ọ̀nà tá a fi lè sọ wípé kẹ́ bá wa tún jẹ́ kí irú nǹkan báyìí tún wáyé. Ó lè rọra pẹ́ sáà díẹ̀ sí o, kó mọ̀ jẹ́ àìpẹ́ yìí ni wọ́n máa ṣe 80th birthday anniversary celebration wọn. Ṣùgbọ́n ṣe bí kì í ṣe ilẹ̀ fẹ́ ṣe àwọn ẹlòmíì ni. Ṣùgbọ́n máa fẹ́ kẹ́ tún fún wa ní oore ọ̀fẹ́ míì. Ó lè jẹ́ lẹ́yìn ọdún kan sí ìsìn, ó dẹ̀ lè rọra jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ, so that kí gbogbo ilé yìí kó lè kún, kó má gbẹ̀sẹ̀, kí ìwé ìròyìn dẹ̀ wá, ká invite àwọn ọba, ká invite àwọn òṣèlú jàǹkànjàǹkàn kànrìn jẹ́ ìmọ̀lẹ́ lẹ́ẹ̀kan. Ó lè jẹ́ pé ìyẹn lọ́lọ́run máa lò fún wa láti dá eré orí ìtàgé padà sí ògo rẹ̀ tí ó ti fẹ́ rí kọjá lọ. Ẹ ṣé, mo dúpẹ́ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí i. Ọlọ́run máa wà pẹ̀lú yín.
Ẹ ṣé o gbọ́ sir. We just learned something now. For most people who didn't know it, Atọ́ka was a very powerful medium in those days. A very powerful medium of entertainment. That man there who just spoke to us was the editor of Atọ́ka, and later Awurẹ́rìn, and then Ìbùkún Aláwàdà. Please let us give him a round of applause. this is a blessed gathering. Hallelujah, somebody. Amen. Now we want to move on. I want to call on, we've been hearing, listening to people from those who are close to Baba as artists. But we have an institute in this university. I think an institute that has not been rivaled by any other institute or center in any Nigerian university. The Institute of African Studies, where we study everything that has to do with our culture and the culture of the diaspora, and our culture in the diaspora. I want to call on Professor Dele Olaiwola to share with us his experience, what he knows about the contributions of our father here to comedy in Nigeria. Please, a round of applause for Professor Dele Olaiwola. Ẹ máa rọra sá o. Ẹ máa rọra o. Àbí kí àwọn ọmọ ìdán máa bọ̀ ní. Ẹ lè máa gbọ́ ìbò o. Ẹ máa múra rẹ̀ kó lè jáde o. Àwọn pòfẹ́sọ̀ làwọn eléyìí o. Welcome, sir.
Àti gba òmìnira, ṣé Yorùbá ni ká sọ? Ṣé Yorùbá ni àbí Gẹ̀ẹ́sì? Mo kí gbogbo ilé pé a kú kalẹ̀, pàápàá jùlọ àwọn bàbá wa àtàwọn ìyá wa tí wọ́n wá. Mo dúpẹ́ pé Chief Arúlógún lè wá. Mo dúpẹ́ pé àwọn tí ẹ pè ní àwọn ọmọ bàbá wa, àwọn tí wọ́n ṣiṣẹ́ láti fi ẹ̀yìn lẹ́ẹ̀dẹ̀. Mo dúpẹ́ pé àwọn náà wà níbí. Mo dúpẹ́ pé gbogbo àwa akẹ́kọ̀ọ́, àwa tá à ń kọ́ ẹ̀kọ́, àwa tá a sì ń kọ́ àwọn tó ń kọ́ ẹ̀kọ́, àwa tá a tún tún ẹ̀kọ́ kọ́ náà, gbogbo wa wà níbí. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo yín. Ẹ ṣé tẹ́ wá. Nǹkan kan ni ó yá mi lórí nípa nǹkan tí Ibadan Film Circle ń ṣe. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ìgbà ló jẹ́ pé a máa ń fi àwọn tí Ọlọ́run fi jíǹkí wa, people with whom nígbà tí mo tún sọ Yorùbá, mo wá rí kan nínú àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ mi àti ojúlùmọ̀ mi tá a jọ ń ṣiṣẹ́, kì í sọ Yorùbá ń tiẹ̀. Mi mọ̀ bóyá tá a bá kúrò bí kò ní kọ ìwé ìpẹ̀jọ́ fún mi wípé ta ló ní pé Yorùbá nìkan mo sọ ń bì. So a ṣe ní àmúlùmálà, tá a bá sọ Yorùbá díẹ̀, a sọ òyìnbó díẹ̀, kóun náà lè gbọ́ nǹkan tá à ń sọ. I'm impressed with the Ibadan Film Circle because they try to make history to live. They are making history. At the same time, they are making us witness history. Nǹkan tó dáa ni láti ṣe ẹ̀yẹ fún àwọn àgbà wa nígbà tí wọ́n ṣì wà pẹ̀lú wa ń bí. Inú mi dùn púpọ̀ pé gbogbo àwọn bàbá yìí wọ́n ń rí iṣẹ́ ọwọ́ wọn. Nígbà tí wọ́n dẹ̀ ń rí gbogbo àrà tí wọ́n dá àti bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ń ṣe ẹ̀yẹ fún wọn. How you have all decided to honor them. Wọ́n ti ń rí bí ọ̀run wọn ṣe máa rí. So a dúpẹ́ lọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run pé ẹ̀ ń ṣẹ̀yẹ fún wọn. Lágbára Ọlọ́run, gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí wọ́n pè tẹ́ wá sọ̀rọ̀ tẹ́ yẹ bàbá sí, tí ẹ dẹ̀ jẹ́ ohun ìdùnnú fún bàbá, particularly those of us who are witnesses to the contributions of Baba to culture and social life. Lágbára Ọlọ́run wọn máa yẹ ẹ̀yin náà sí. Lágbára Ọlọ́run ẹ̀yin náà máa lọ́wọ́ rí lẹ́yìn. Bàbá, lágbára Ọlọ́run bá ṣe ń rí yìí, tẹ́yìn náà dẹ̀ ń rí wa, àrídùnnú lẹ máa rí wa. Ẹ̀mí yẹn á gùngùngùn ẹ pẹ́pẹ́pẹ́pẹ́. Lágbára Ọlọ́run, ìgbà tí ẹ bá tún lọ síbi tágbà ń rè, àwọn iṣẹ́ ọwọ́ yín tẹ́ ti ṣe lẹ̀ á tún máa jẹ́rìí yín. their works, by the grace of God, will continue to live after them. There is nothing so rewarding as to be able to live after one had lived. Ọlọ́run ò ní jẹ́ ká kú àkúrun, Ọlọ́run ò ní jẹ́ ká yé gbàgbé wa. It is the work that men have done that will continue to live after them. I know that without the efforts of these artists, our life will be much poorer than it is now. Shakespeare had been away from here now for almost 500 years, and we still continue to remember him. I know that nations are made because of the contributions and the work that people have done whilst they were here. Baba Sala, as Tunde Awosami said earlier, and as Shoyinka has written, is truly one of the greatest geniuses that we have had. We were blessed. One of my colleagues, when we were in graduate school, wrote a chapter of his own thesis, his PhD thesis, on Baba Sala. And he titled that chapter, The Yeye Tradition. And then we called him to question. We said, is it the Yeye tradition or the Awada tradition? Awada, comedy, farce, burlesque, depending on which part of it a playwright practices, has become one of the more popular subgenres of art, of drama. Baba Sala, there was one production of Baba Sala when Apollo 11. You remember when men landed on the moon? Baba Sala then had his production, recalling what it will be. He was representing the order of the day, the order of things, in talking about astronauts who are going to the moon. In fact, I think it was still being proposed when Baba Sala himself decided to put up a play on how men will land on the moon and what they will find there. So art not only reproduces life, it creates life by itself. We will continue to live by the achievements of these great men. And I do hope that those of us coming behind, and I know that the Department of Theatre Arts encourages dissertations and writings, which will continue to document the works of these men. I know that the contributions of Baba Sala are not always scripted. They're not like the writings of Wole Soyinka, J.P. Clark, and the others who are in the tradition of literary or the writing art. But I do hope that it will be possible for us to recreate some of these and begin to script them, so that at least we will have some records for children who will come past here in about a century or two, when we are no longer here. I do hope that it will be possible to ensure that some of our works will continue to capture some of the things that they had done, so that those people coming behind us will be able to enjoy, at least in part, what we have been privileged to enjoy. So I look forward to the next edition of the Ibadan Film Circle. And I do hope, because I know that this is being recorded, I do hope that it will also be possible to begin to keep an archive of each of these productions. Once again, I'd like to thank Niji Akoni and Rockway Winla and his other colleagues, Remy Raju Elade, and all the others who have made it possible for us to continue to recreate our heroes. Kindly give them a round of applause. I would like also that you should give Baba Mosisolaya a resounding round of applause. And of course, to give yourselves also, living witnesses, another round of applause. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.